Ladies and gentlemen.
Are you ready?
Hey, let me tell you something. You're listening to Roundtable Sports Talk, bringing you the latest, hottest, and up-to-date sports news across the world. With your hosts, Austin and Brett.
I know you're gonna dig this.
All right, hello everyone. Brett and I are back. Roundtable Sports Talk. Got a lot of exciting stuff to cover today. And the NBA, things are crazy right this second, aren't they, Brett?
Popping. The NBA is popping right now.
It's a little more than I expected in the first day of free agency. First 2 days, it's
more than I can handle because there's a lot of big stories too.
Yeah, everyone thought Durant jumping ship last year was big, but I feel like this year we've already topped that.
Like the first day, the overnight trading was freaking insane. There was a lot of huge moves, big signings.
Yeah, a lot of money being thrown around. We're going to cover that today. We're going to cover the NBA awards, which were last Monday night. You know, we'll do an overview of that for you. We're going to pretty much dive into the NBA this whole show because there's so much to talk about.
So much to talk about.
I will give an early shout out to the Florida Gators for winning the College World Series.
Good job.
LSU, beating them 2-0.
Good job.
So if you watched that, I guess I didn't watch much of it.
Neither did I.
I actually didn't know that, even being a Gator fan, that Florida had not won a World Series game.
Oh, no.
A couple of series, but hadn't even won a game.
So
Big move for us. So that's exciting. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
So I guess we can go ahead right here, Brett, and start recapping the awards.
All right. So they were last Monday. A lot of your big categories are obviously NBA MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Man, Coach of the Year, a ton of awards.
Okay.
So we'll dive into the MVP. Obviously, Russell Westbrook got that award,
which was being debated all year long for whatever reason, because I guess Harden he had a good year too.
It was all about the triple double. That's pretty much what it was being based off of, is triple doubles. And I was on ship with Westbrook because he took that Thunder team. He was the only player.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And that was the argument all year. It's, well, which guy has more help? And to be honest with you, neither of them really had help.
No, they all did it by
and
themselves.
Westbrook averaged a triple-double and Harden didn't.
Yeah, the number, Harden didn't average triple-double. It was close. But Westbrook was 31.6, 10.4 assists, and 10.7 rebounds.
Yeah, it's not even like...
It's on the verge. It's like right there.
But I think that's pretty good. I mean...
For a point guard? For a point guard.
I mean, James averaged 29, 11, and 8.
So, it's
double. Close. It's super close.
It's close, yeah.
But it's not there. And that's where it comes in.
I mean, Westbrook broke the record, 42 triple-doubles, and Harden had 22. So about half. Yeah, half. So, yeah. I mean, you can't...
And also, Westbrook had a game where he scored 57.
Yeah, it was the most points scored in a triple-double, and that was against the Magic. I wish I had tickets to that game. I was close.
So, yeah, to me, it's really not too debatable. And I'm trying to think, both teams got knocked out of the playoffs early.
First round.
Yeah.
And second or third round, something like that.
So, I mean, neither of them made a dent in the postseason.
No, because, the Thunder, they weren't going to get past.
Their second best player was Oladipo.
Yeah, which they picked up from the Magic last year.
Yeah.
And then
And I don't think he did much of anything.
He was an average shooting guard, but it wasn't enough to have help. I mean, obviously Westbrook was assisting because 10 assists.
Guys are making shots.
So it was mostly down in the paint though with Steven Adams and Enes Kanter.
Well, and that's also something we talked about our last show too, was one guy can't do it.
No. And one guy cannot take a team to the championship.
And if Russell Westbrook breaking the triple-double record doesn't prove that, then I don't know what proves that. Because I said LeBron proves that to me. But if Westbrook didn't prove that, then I don't know how to convince you.
So,
props to Harden. Nothing he did wrong. Just
Harden's a good. He's Well, obviously you saw him playing the point more than a shooting guard. So he was a split guard pretty much. So
And now, but hey, who was the real winner at the end of this year though? With what Harden just got in his back pocket with Chris Paul. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. So
go on down. What you want to do? Rookie of the year next?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention much to NBA rookies, but Brogdon, who plays for the Bucks, got Rookie of the Year. His stats were 10.2 points, 4.2 assists, and shot 40% from the three.
Which that's pretty high right there.
What gets me though,
here we go.
is I don't think you know what you're talking about. The dunk over LeBron.
Oh, I thought you were about to go to the end.
I was,
Okay.
but what I think was he got the Rookie of the Year. You remember that highlight?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he had a little highlight. So let's dive in number.
If you think about it, 10 points a game, like
It's an average rookie.
that's terrible.
It is. I mean, it is terrible. So
yeah, what we're gonna say was Joel Embiid was voted number 2,
which is not even a rookie.
I think I have the total votes right here. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Malcolm Brogdon had 64 first place votes, and Joel Embiid had 23.
Well, see, they base it off their votes count as points.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't consider Joel Embiid a rookie. He's been in the league a couple years. Yeah, but he hasn't played. But so technically, I mean, yeah, it's his rookie year because he actually played.
But
I don't consider that a rookie.
yeah, if it sitting 2 years, you're watching film, you're learning. I mean, because if you look at the stats, Embiid averaged 27 and 2.
He was awesome for Philadelphia.
So yeah, if that was a rookie, those are great stats.
And he played next to some. I mean, I don't know who plays for the.
Yeah, well, he's got plenty of help now.
So,
So that's crazy. He shouldn't have been nominated. Not that it mattered because he didn't win.
and then another rookie on that list was also from the 76ers, Dario Saric. Mm-hmm. 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Which, how did that not beat out Bogdan? I don't know.
See, do you think? I don't think they base it off of stats.
No, I mean, they don't. They base it off production and, how their team plays, I think. And the 76ers were terrible.
Terrible.
The Bucks were,
Yeah.
they weren't that bad.
The only player I know who plays for the Bucks is Greg Monroe.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We can slide down right now to Defensive Player of the Year. That went to Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors, champions. He averaged 10, 7, and then 2 steals.
and then
But I guess those are offensive points. I'm assuming the 10-2.
Yeah,
It's not
10-2
what
is
he averaged
offensive.
defending. So, I mean, that doesn't really have much to do with it.
8 rebounds. So you kind of split it down the middle between offensive.
The reason I would give this to Kawhi is because he has to play offense also.
Oh yeah,
And he also is a great defender. Where
amazing defender.
Draymond has 700 options on the offensive end where he literally doesn't do anything but box out.
Yeah, I mean, he had a few triple doubles under his belt. So,
yeah.
but defensive player of the year is steals and blocks.
And it's his attitude.
And
he has
attitude.
that defensive bad guy attitude. And that's what
like
the
swat,
voter- yeah.
like block him down and stare him down kind of thing.
Yep.
Rudy Gobert of the Jazz, who played pretty good. I mean, he averaged double-double, 14 points,
Yeah.
12.
Why didn't it go to him?
He had almost averaged 3 blocks.
Yeah.
And he's 7 foot. I would consider him a defensive player.
Yeah. I didn't really know much about him other than the fact that he was a good defensive player, but I, really never cared. But I've been playing 2K a lot, and he is killing me every time I play against him.
7 foot?
It's so annoying. Like, he probably averages like 5 blocks a game in freaking 2K. Like, it's stupid.
Been getting swatted. That's what
I hate him for that. And the other reason I don't want Draymond to win is because I don't like Draymond. I think Draymond's overrated because he's on a great team. If he played anywhere else, he'd be mediocre. That's all I'm saying. Let him play for the 76ers. I bet he does terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, no, that's really the only awards anyway. I think.
Well, it was the first live awards because they hosted it in New York.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know that was the first time it was live.
Yeah, they normally just announce it. They don't have
And they
like
made
an
it a
actual.
lot later too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because it was like 3 weeks. After the finals.
It was almost 3 hours long.
Was it? I didn't watch it.
Well,
I know Drake hosted.
Drake hosted. Yeah, Drake had a little comedy show.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I did see that with Will Ferrell. That was so funny.
Yeah, he had a good.
Him and DeMar DeRozan was in it too. They said he said, "The more I say it, the more I hate it."
Shout out Drake.
Oh, that was good stuff. Also, the other one, actually, one more I want to talk about was the Sixth Man of the Year.
Oh, you wanted.
Which who did that even go to?
It went to Eric Gordon, the Rockets.
Exactly. And
Eric Gordon played for the Pelicans last year, but the year before.
yes, yeah.
So he played. I mean, I didn't really watch the Rockets play that much, so
No, but I feel like he did. I think he did more than Iggy did all year long, which is why he won it. But I just feel like Iguodala is a more household name, and we know him as being like kind of a clutch guy and another one of those attitude guys.
lockdown defender,
Yeah.
especially when in the finals with LeBron.
Yeah, so I probably, if it was my choice and solely up to me, I'd give it to Iggy. But it's good to see Eric Gordon get it.
someone different.
Yeah,
So, and then we can dive into the coach of the year, Mike D'Antoni of the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
not sure why.
yeah, probably should have won.
Because D'Antoni wasn't that the Lakers coach like 2 years ago
Yeah,
or last year?
no, it was 2 years.
2 years ago. 'Cause I
Yeah,
remember him and Kobe didn't.
get well, get along very well.
It didn't work. So that's the other thing I want to talk about is coaching in the NBA is like, does it even matter? The Cavs are going on 4 years of not really even having a head coach
They have Tyronn Lue,
who just looks at LeBron and says, "Yes, sir."
yes, sir.
And they had Mike Brown, I think,
Yeah, they had Mike Brown.
before that, and that's the King's house. So,
It is the King's house.
and you got Billy Donovan, who one of the greatest, I think, college coaches of all time, comes into the OKC and doing the same thing that
They took he took the Thunder pretty far in the playoffs.
Well, they lost in 7 games to Golden State 2 years ago after they were up 3-1 when they still had KD. So everyone was like, okay, this is new. We have a new big in the West, and then KD leaves, and they were the 8th seed this year, I think, or the 6th seed.
they barely made it in. I think it was like
I know. I
seven.
think the Rockets might have been 8. They might have been 7. It was
Yeah.
real. They were all. So it's like,
I mean, it goes back to the MVP thing. Like Russell can't do it by himself.
yeah, but that's the thing I'm saying. If the coaches can't figure out a way to win with what they have,
What do
are
you
they
do?
there for?
Yeah, what are they?
If
there
you got to
for?
bring in superstars, I mean, look what Houston just did,
Yeah, they brought in.
and he just won Coach of the Year.
So, I mean,
Obviously, it's not enough what he was doing. So, but and you can't even say D'Antoni turned Houston around
he didn't. Well,
because they're still kind of the same.
Harden runs that team.
Yeah, that's Harden's team.
Yeah.
OKC is Russell's team. Cavs, LeBron's team.
Yeah.
Indiana was Paul George's team.
Yeah. Was.
It was.
We'll dive into that. All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
That's it for the coach. We had some other personnel stuff here too. While we're on top of it, what is it? Phil Jackson.
Good.
Bye.
Yeah, get out the door
No
because
longer
he was
here.
he was trying to trade Kristaps Porzingis.
I
Really?
saw something. I think was what was he? A chairman or
He was
whatever his title was.
president. He was
He
president.
did
of the
his
Knicks.
job for I think it said 9 months or maybe it was 13 months, something like that, and made. Oh, I wish I had the figures in front of me because it was stupid. He made like $60,000 a day or something.
It was $50,000 a day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember seeing that report. It was $50,000 a day. A day.
$50,000 a day. Like
He didn't do nothing.
that's crazy.
Nothing.
I mean, I guess you could say he was he there when they drafted Kristoff?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe he did.
He made the push to get Kristaps
Okay,
Porzingis.
so but now you're trying to trade him away.
Yeah, they're trying to trade him.
So that's why they got rid of him. Obviously, he wasn't doing anything because it was like, oh, the great Phil Jackson, the great coach.
And he's won a lot of rings.
Well,
Lakers.
yeah, but he had
Lakers.
players, and
Yeah.
also he wasn't the coach of this team.
No, he was
wasn't
not.
the coach of the Knicks. He was
He was the president.
so.
So
How hands on was he? Yeah,
Yeah, what did he do? And he obviously didn't do nothing because the Knicks are terrible.
but like $50,000
A day.
a day. Come on, like
Really?
I don't know, but hey, I guess And the sad part is that money probably don't mean anything to him because he's already buku rich.
And he's made his stand in the NBA. He's won his rings.
So, and Carmelo was trying to get out from underneath.
He's still trying to get his contract bought
Carmelo
out.
should have left the Knicks like 4 years ago, and because now he's so far past his prime.
I mean, he can still play. Not gonna. I mean,
I put him in the same category as D Wade.
He
can play.
Yeah,
but he cannot. He will not do it by himself.
He's one of the good veterans in the league, and they were talking about him going into the Rockets, which would be awesome because then you would have Chris Paul, James Harden, and Carmelo.
But the only thing I have to say about all this, the free agent stuff going around and building their new teams, are we doing a fantasy draft from 2009? Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I think we're doing. Somebody got lost and somebody is playing the wrong video game. Because Chris Paul is going to do good in Houston, but James Harden plays so much point. How is that going to work out?
It's the same. You can't compare it to Golden State, but you have a
system. They have
a system, but I'm talking about the people sharing the ball. Like you have.
Well, that's their ball movement is the best in the NBA.
You ain't going to see Harden averaging almost close to triple double this year. Not with Chris Paul.
He can't bring the ball up the court and just isolation all game long.
No,
he's going to have to let Chris Paul run from point. They're going to have to use their bigs and set up an offense.
He's going to have to play shooting guard.
Yeah, it can't be backstreet basketball with him now. It can't be a pickup game. He can't just dribble around and do it all himself. Same thing goes for Russ and Paul George, which Paul George I don't think will have any problem with that.
No,
he's
well he had Jeff Teague next to him as his point.
Yeah, he's a real gracious player and he can share the ball. We've seen that when they were testing the Heat in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Westbrook, on the other hand,
freaking dominated.
He dominated. Obviously, not gonna.
And then you got swiped. You got
next year, but he played with Durant for years, and you can say it didn't work, but they were a powerhouse in the West.
Yeah,
they just
they put a competition.
Never get past the Spurs and Golden State.
So, all right, let's move on. Let's dive into this free agency. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it will take a good bit. So
let's hit it off. Obviously, Chris Paul went to the Houston.
Yes.
The big story is Houston gave up Patrick Beverly, Lou Williams, Sam Decker,
another one,
Montrezl Harrell,
another one,
Kyle Whitcher, who the hell that is, DeAndre Liggins,
another one,
Darian Hillard, a 2018 first round pick, top 3 projected,
another one,
and cash considerations.
Oh, dude.
For one point guard. One point guard.
For an old point guard.
A veteran
2009 fantasy draft. I mean, come on, guys. I love me some Chris Paul.
Hey, Chris Paul, we want you here. Hey, LA, you can have all these players. I just want Chris Paul.
Well, they're doing what the Knicks did last year. Oh, let's bring in, or the Bulls, I'm sorry. Let's bring in D Rose and let's get rid of D Rose, bring in Rondo, bring in Wade, and try and do something with that. You can't bring in old guys. Listen, when you're an old veteran and you need a ring, you go join the young guy team that's already winning, Kevin Durant. Which I'm not going to classify him as young, but he's been in the league a while and had his chance.
I think 10 years.
Yeah, so you go join the winning team and you get your ring. You don't go to an 8 seed team with a ball hogging shooting guard. But hey, they're going to be better. No doubt they'll be better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No doubt they're going to be better.
I don't know. Pat Beverly played pretty good at the point.
I love Mr. Patrick. He's a feisty dude.
Mm-hmm, and he
played Golden State the first round.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And he
always gave Steph Curry hell.
He's going to be interesting in LA with DeAndre Jordan and and Blake now that he's re-signed.
Yeah,
or going to re-sign. Did he re-sign?
Yes. Yeah. He agreed on 5 years, $173 million. So he's got his money. So
yeah, Blake Griffin, which
I didn't think he was going to go because he was meeting with the Jazz.
Yeah,
he was really hot and heavy on the Jazz.
Plus, I figured with Paul leaving, he would have been like, all right, I'm out too.
Yeah, forget y'all.
I guess if the money's there, we all have our price.
And then JJ Redick signed with the 76ers.
That's going to be fun.
A year and $23 million.
What's the vet minimum? Do you know?
$2.3 million.
And he just got 23.
23.
an aging JJ Redick, whose heydays were what, in Orlando?
Yeah. So
And like when Dwight Howard was there. So, I just, gosh, dog, dude, so much money to these old veterans, which props to them for getting it, but what are the owners doing?
they want to keep their veterans on that
D
team.
Wade got $23 million.
Yeah. 23. It was at a player option too.
And he had his tweet, you know, he averaged 18 points a game. Something like, congratulations, you're averaging 18 a game.
But
LeBron and Steph are averaging over 30. So
I don't
now
know.
everyone's leaving you,
Yep.
and you're looking for a buyout.
Yep. And he's like, well, hell, I want to leave too. Come on.
You need to go to Cleveland for the veterans minimum, go win a title, get to 4,
And then retire.
and then retire. Bye. Go to your house with your hot wife.
But here's the thing. His contract buyout, he would have to give up that entire player's option to get his contract bought out. And I don't think Chicago's wanting to do that.
No, and I don't think he does either because he's, like we said, he has his rings. He just want money now.
But literally, he has nobody now. Rondo got
I
waves.
don't know what he's going to do.
Jimmy Butler went to the Wolves. I mean, what is he going to do?
I don't know. So that's Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. So now with Butler, you know, that
It's,
I don't know what to think 100% about that.
I don't know. I mean, it's
Because will the Timberwolves be that good?
apparently so. I mean, they just signed,
Right.
they signed Jeff Teague, which, I mean, he's
that's
a pretty,
what I hear. It's going to be.
it's going to be an interesting team. And then Taj Gibson also went to the Timberwolves. He played for the Thunder last year.
You know, Taj is good.
Yeah, he's a good
He's
power
a good
forward.
6 man though. Did he start for them?
Yes, he did.
Did he? Okay.
He started, and then they put Enes Kanter on the bench, who started before that.
Speaking of Jazz, we got Ricky Rubio went to the Jazz
Yeah.
just for a first round pick.
For a
next
first round
year.
pick. And they also re-signed Joe Ingles.
Yep.
The big story is, will Gordon Hayward stay with the Jazz? Because if Gordon Hayward leaves the Jazz, Jazz ain't going nowhere.
He should. As
He
long-
should. He's in Boston right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think Boston's going to willing to pay him.
They need to though. If they want to compete, they need him so badly.
And he is an awesome small forward.
Yes.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Some more smaller names, not smaller names, but kind of smaller news, I guess, is we all knew Steph was going to re-sign with the Warriors.
He got himself.
Did not know it was going to be $201 million.
I think at one point it was sitting at 205, and then they dropped it back down. $200 million
the luxury tax for them
is going to be a fat.
it's eating them.
It's either that or they're going to have to give up some players, and I don't think they want to do that.
Well, it's because KD took less on his.
He hasn't even resigned yet. He said, "I'm waiting until this
Yeah.
business is done, and
Yeah.
then I'll
He
resign."
said he's going to take less on his. That way they could get Iggy back, which they did. But I think I saw between Steph, Draymond, Durant, and Iggy over the next 4 years, all their contracts combined, I saw today, it's going to be, I think, over like $1.6 billion combined.
That tax
And
is
the luxury tax is eating that. But hey, you know, you've won 2 out of 3
and
championships.
speaking of that, they also kept Sean Livingston for 3 years.
And what's his name? McGee.
Yes, he did.
They're still talking to him. I saw that today. But
They should
But
keep
he wants to resign. But they're also saying he kind of like revamped his career there.
He did,
So he might.
because he played for the Nuggets before that.
They said he might test the waters because obviously Golden State isn't going to pay him what he's worth because they're trying to cut corners.
Yeah,
So they're thinking maybe he's going to reach out to one of these other teams that can pay him and him kind of be a big money guy. So if that's you, okay, your career kind of sucked.
and then you went
And things
to,
were falling off.
and then you went to a super team.
You go to a great team. Your name becomes a household name, pretty much. You know, definitely in Oakland, obviously.
Yeah,
But even all over here on the East Coast, we know you. You didn't start.
No, he came
all
off the
the
bench.
finals. I think you started one game.
He started one game. I think it was game 1,
Yeah,
and then they switched the lineup up.
so you revamped your career. People will know who you are now.
And then you want to go knocking on doors, be like, "Hey,
Do you, if it's you, do you sit there, take the cheap money and keep winning, or do you take fat money and go try and
suck."
try and lift a bad team to good? That's the reward's high there, but the risk is
It's
there.
a high risk, high
It's a high
reward.
risk, high reward, low risk, low reward here. So
Yeah.
if that's you, you got one ring under your belt. what do you do?
I'd probably stay.
Yeah. I
But
don't know. Well, here's the thing. You're already a rich athlete. I mean, he's been in the league for some years. He's obviously has plenty of money. That's what makes me tick about some of these guys is they're still so money hungry, even though they got so much. It's like stay and win, man.
it get you the rings.
But I think he stays.
And staying on the Warriors, David West got his veterans minimum. I'm not a big David West fan. He didn't really do anything,
Because he's not that good, and he's loud and obnoxious.
and he didn't. He played for the Spurs before he went to the Warriors. He got traded midway.
Weren't the Spurs just looking at him?
Yes.
Yeah, and they couldn't pull him.
No. And look, he only
I
got.
think freaking Golden State's brainwashing their players, man.
I don't know, but they're.
Speaking of Spurs, Patty Mills resigns 4 years, $50 million.
He was shopping for $12.5 to $15 million a year, and the Spurs convinced him. Okay, here
Yeah, we'll give it.
we'll give it to you.
Which he's good because when
They're gonna need someone because Tony Parker ain't gonna just be playing for that much longer.
he won't be healthy. He hasn't been healthy for a full year in like 4 years.
And then
Patty Mills plays very well.
he's a good backup point guard. I would have gave him that money.
Yeah. We were talking about this. Bulls waive Rondo. So now it's just D-Wade left. We have Swaggy P for the Lakers declining his player option.
Yeah, the Warriors. They just
Don't know who wants him. No idea who would want him.
the Warriors do. They just released a report saying the
I
Warriors.
think they want him for someone just to be loud on the bench when Steph shoots a three. Because he'd be doing some dumb stuff over there.
That sucks, though. I mean, I don't know what the Lakers are thinking giving up Swaggy P.
Well, they got Lonzo coming in, and
They're trying to make some room.
they're just trying to, I think, put a face back on that franchise.
There is no
Get
face in
rid
that.
of that.
The
nasty-
what Magic said to him was, "You are now the face of the Lakers. Please bring the Lakers back into rotation."
Said, oh no.
No,
They
thank
should
you.
have sent him on his way and kept.
They should have pulled for Paul George.
Yeah.
They should have.
Well, I think they did, but I don't think Paul wanted to go there alone.
He wanted someone else to go with him.
Yeah, no one else wants to.
I'm gonna tell you this. Give it this year playing with the Thunder. Him and Westbrook. If they click, I'm willing to bet you they go move to LA.
But for as much crap as Westbrook gave Durant for leaving, do you think Westbrook leaves? Like, can he leave? He's going to be so scrutinized for that.
Who cares?
Well, I'm with you, but I mean, you that's like if you're working a job, right? And you and your homeboy, y'all are good, and then he takes a job paying a little more money and goes off, and you're like, man, you sell out. You don't want to stay here with me. Like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah.
And you trash talk him in front of all your friends, and then 2 years later, you
do
quit
the
your job for
same,
more money and go. And it's like, well,
He's gonna get. You really think he's gonna stay with the Thunder all that long?
I do.
He eventually. No, I don't.
He
think,
likes it. He likes being the guy.
Well, he wants to be the guy, but at the same time, that team ain't gonna win a ship
No, but do you
with.
think the Lakers are going to win a ship?
No.
Yeah, I think he's better off with Billy Donovan as your coach. I think you're better off getting someone to come to you like he did. Maybe they play well this year. I think they get a 4 seed,
Yes.
maybe a 3 seed. They're going to compete. They're going to eventually lose because I think the Spurs still beat them. Even
Yeah.
with that, I think the Spurs still. I think I'd take Pop over any coach.
Oh yeah, Pop's a good coach.
And then maybe they're either when they decide maybe, hey, let's not go to LA, let's get a big to come here, and you get maybe Kevin Love in a trade to go over there for picks or something,
6 players.
Yeah, 17 players, another one. So you do something to get a big guy, and then
Who though? Like who?
the only big. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins is apparently.
I don't think he's happy in
I don't
Sacramento.
think he's happy anywhere
That'd
because he
be-
wants to be happy where he's winning, and he hasn't got the win yet.
I could see DeMarcus Cousins.
I think the Cavs just need to drop everything and go after DeMarcus Cousins. Like, buy K-Love, buy Tristan Thompson,
Well,
buy him on, buy a JR. And
Well, they're shopping him on Shumpert. So
yeah, they've been contacted about him. And also, we saw today LeBron's not recruiting for the Cavs. this
no
year.
one's
He's
recruiting
not-
for the Cavs.
He's not going out and doing anything crazy because I
Well-
think he's over it.
If he loses this year, he's gone. goodbye.
I hope so, because that means he's still hungry. If he just sits there and starts to take it,
And
he's starting to slow down and
thinking about retirement.
he wants to be that big brother, because what's going to happen is eventually, if he does decide to just not call it, LeBron's still got like 6 more years.
Of course.
But if he doesn't win another title in the next 2, those last 3 or 4 years are going to be, hey, bring in some young guys and I'll help them along with Kyrie. Because I don't think Kyrie ever goes anywhere.
Kyrie's not going anywhere.
So, not a whole lot.
Well, they
surprising,
just
right, LeBron.
the Cavs just re-signed Kyle Korver, so
Which is good because he didn't get a really chance to do what he wanted to do last year.
No.
They were like, hey, we need a 3-point guy. Let's sign Kyle Korver. And then you throw him in and it's like, hey, you're our only shot against Golden State. And he's like, whoa.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about him. He cannot shoot a contested 3 at all.
Which is sad.
His 3-point shot is no one in his face. That's when you start seeing those threes go in. He is not a contested 3-point shot. You should not give him the ball.
And that that's going to be great in the regular season when everyone's coasting.
Yeah.
But you get crunch time, which is when they tried to play him this year, and he couldn't knock down a shot.
He couldn't come through. Like, he was getting contested, and I mean, God, I think he threw an air ball at one point.
He's going to be one of those, which I hope not, because I really like Kyle Korver, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that will average like 17 points a game all year long with like 4 threes.
Well, they gave him a 3-year contract.
Yeah, and then he gets to the playoffs and kind of shrinks. That's what I think he's going to do,
Yeah.
which sucks.
And
Now
then
you just gave $22 million to a guy that's going to be a regular season player.
And then
the East.
staying on the Cavs, they gave Jose Calderon the veterans minimum for a backup point guard.
Yeah, I don't know really what's behind that either.
Jose Calderon, really? I'd probably stick with Darren Williams than Jose Calderon.
Exactly. And even though he was crazy, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Something. They got to do something. Let's see. What else we got here? Serge Ibaka getting his 3 years, $65 million contract.
That boy, Serge. He was with the Thunder for a little while.
Yes.
Was actually
2012 run. He was in there with Kendrick Perkins.
Yep. Oh yeah, him and Kendrick. Yep.
So
They were a good combo for a little while.
yeah, the Raptors are good keeping Serge Ibaka. He's improved.
Well, and now that they got Lowry,
Yeah,
for
they
3
just
more years, 100 milli.
So you still got your backcourt of
Yeah.
Lowry and DeRozan.
The Raptors would be so good in the East.
And they are good in the East.
I mean in the West, but
The West. They're in the East.
I just feel like over there they would play so well. They come to the playoffs in the East, and it's like they see LeBron and they crap. I feel like if you went over there and put them against some guys that they feel like they can like compete, like let them play against the Spurs or OKC, New Orleans, something like that. But they get over here, and did they lose to LeBron this year? Or did they lose to the
Toronto.
Yeah?
They lost to the Celtics.
I thought it was the Celtics,
Yeah, they lost to the Celtics.
which they should have beat the Celtics.
And they should have, but they,
I really like Toronto. They're probably my second favorite team in the East.
Toronto can compete with.
I wish they were in the West so that I could pull for them a little harder, because in the East I obviously want the Cavs to go.
Cavs steamrolled
every year.
everyone in the playoffs.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I mean, when you think about it, at least for me with football, the last, I don't know, 4 years, now I'm not talking like the outcome of the season with the AFC winning the last 2 Super Bowls, but the NFC has been like the powerhouse conference with the Packers and the Seahawks and the Giants coming up, Dallas. And the AFC, you've had like New England, Denver
England.
1 year,
New England.
Pittsburgh, okay. But what I'm saying is the West has like every year when we do our brackets, the NFC has like 7 teams that I could see going to the Super Bowl, and the AFC has 2.
Two.
It's New England and like Pittsburgh are always my 2 that I put. So that's kind of, to me, the East, I would say like LeBron or the Celtics, and then the West you got. Anyway, even though with Golden State being great, there's way more options in the West to
Spurs.
go. There's the Spurs, the Thunder now with this, the Clippers still.
The Jazz. The Jazz played.
Yeah.
Jazz. The Jazz.
I don't know if we said Houston already, but with what they just did, Houston.
the Western Conference is harder to win. If you want to win a ship, go to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
and you just got
what it is the West is like a super team and like 5 really, really good teams, and the East is like a super team and like 15 okay teams. So,
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Both sides you got to get through the powerhouse, but on one side you got to go through some ranks, and the other side you go through some pillow fights, like the Hawks. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the East is gonna do.
I don't know, like, and you know, we've been planning to talk about it right here. How weak is the East?
How weak? It's weak.
On a scale of 1 to 10, and like a 1 being a stuffed teddy bear, and a 10 being prison, the East might be like a 2.
A 2.
A 2. So it might be like a not so fluffy teddy bear. It's bad, man. They need to do something. And you know, I don't know what, because the NBA doesn't want to stop these trades and these free agents because,
No.
I mean, this offseason has been more exciting than the season was.
Yeah.
So this draws fans and draws attention. It's just,
It does. I mean, when free agency opened the first, it went on a steamroll. There was a lot of trades and a lot of big name people getting signed or re-signed.
and like I said, it's not like the NBA can step in and be like,
Stop.
yeah,
What are you doing?
No, you have to resign, because then the players are going to be unhappy. You know, at least, you know, the thing with the NBA too is all these guys sign like, I don't know, a year or two.
Most of it's a year or two. You don't see a lot of 4 or 5 year contracts.
They have their year or twos, and then they have their option to opt out. Any other sport, guys are signing 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, long-term contracts.
So that's why there's so much more movement in the NBA, which is crazy. But like, hey, it's
You get your veterans who get their 2.3, and then and a lot of your other players get 2, maybe 3-year contracts, and then your superstars get 5. I mean,
and that's also why the players in the NBA are way happier than like the NFL with their commissioners.
yeah,
Because the NBA, they kind of let the guys kind of police themselves and go where they want, and the NBA or the NFL is just rule after rule after rule after rule, and
they're always adding rules, changing rules.
And the NBA like stays the same every year. Just the luxury tax and the salary cap goes up. Like that's literally it.
And most of your teams that are actually competing in the playoffs is the ones that have to pay that tax.
Yeah, so it's definitely a difference between the leagues on how they're ran. So
Another few contracts, we'll dive into it. Drew Holiday re-signs with the Pelicans. 5 years, $126 million. Good. I'm not a big fan of Drew Holiday. He can't really stay healthy. And they're talking about the incentives that come with it could push that contract to like $150 million. So,
Jesus,
I mean, he got his money.
I don't know. God, man, I just feel like there's so many other players they could pull in to make that team better instead of giving one guy that much. Like, yes, I understand giving Stephen Curry $200 million because
Even LeBron said, because they bought that team for over $1 billion. And LeBron tweeted, and he said Curry should have got twice $200 million. So he said Curry should have been signed for $400 million.
Yeah, I mean, it would be incredible, but it's true though. I mean, the owners have so much money they can pay. I have no problem with them paying the guys. Like I've said that before. I am so pro like these athletes getting paid. Me, the only thing I complain is, you know, you're trying to go out there and win championships. The players should look at that and be like, hey, if I cut this in half or trim it down, we can sign someone else who can come help me.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's not all the players. They got their agents and their marketing. You know, it's not completely 100% up to them. So,
I don't know.
I mean, it's like LeBron does all the time, and now KD's doing. You know, Tom Brady does it.
Yeah. Taking a pay cut.
Bring in help.
Yeah.
You win. It's proven to win rings. LeBron went and did it in Miami. None of them got paid anything down there.
Yeah, they took some serious cuts.
I think Chris Bosh was one of the biggest paid ones when they went down there.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That sucks for Chris Bosh. Hop on the Heat like that.
Yeah. I don't know if, well,
He's
a couple
not.
of weeks ago, if you hadn't heard, he just no longer allowed to play.
Yeah, them blood clots. It's dangerous though. He trying to come back. I was like, man, you need to call it quits, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
It's just, it's dangerous because
You can die on that floor getting a blood clot.
and when you're doing something you love and you're only going to get to play for so long, so you don't want to cut it short. But when it comes to like that, man, you got to. There's a guy in racing that I know from a while back. Just his name is Brian Vickers. I don't remember what car number he used to drive, whatever, in NASCAR. But he had to quit because he had blood clots in his legs from sitting in that car for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So he, that he tried to come back a couple times because he'd get rid of them, and he'd come back and run a race or two, and they'd be right back. So.
And that's how it was. He came back, was fine. Then I don't know, 4 weeks in, he was like, "Oh crap, got another blood clot," and it was in his heart too. So
that's the crazy part is why he even tried to come back.
Yeah. So
one team I feel like we haven't talked about is Charlotte because nothing happens there.
Nothing happened.
But I did stay in a hotel across from their arena all weekend.
Yeah.
So shout out Hornets?
Did you see Kemba Walker walking down?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
They do a really bad job with their arena, though, like letting you know it's the Hornets arena. Because I probably walked past it and drove past it like 6 times before I even realized it.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know which, and I think I was like walking around like the west side, and I was going.
Giant Hornets logo.
Yeah, I was going to dinner, and I saw pictures of like music artists and crap. Like, oh, this is an arena. It's cool. Like, what do they play? I think they have an arena football team there. And then I looked up, and then I realized that there was a couple of banners that said Charlotte Hornets on it. And I was like, oh, shit, like, this is where the Hornets play. And then actually in my hotel, the top floor was called the Hornets Nest. And it did not click in my
It
head
all
at all.
clicked in after. It was like,
I was like, oh, okay. I got to go back up there and drink more to the Hornets now. So it was like I was taking Snapchats and videos all up on the roof of like the city, the skyline.
that's a nice skyline.
Yeah, and the arena's like right there, and it didn't click. So pretty cool. Charlotte's a great city though. It's reminds me a lot of Jacksonville the way it's laid out. It's
I've maybe been to Charlotte like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, they call it Uptown. It's where that's where the NASCAR Hall of Fame and all that stuff is.
True.
So yeah, it was really cool. But it's a lot like Jacksonville. It's real like tight, congested. Quick. So much construction going on. It's crazy.
Right.
But no, that was fun. So we haven't got to talk about Charlotte at all because they've done nothing in free agency or trading. So we'll talk about their arena.
No, actually, I think the only person I think signed with them was Michael Carter Williams. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Ugh.
traded from the Bucks.
That's gross.
He's not even
No.
a player.
No. So, but I think that's about all we got today. And I don't even think we still covered it all.
No,
And
there's
we're
still
only 2 days or a day into free agency, so there's going to be plenty of more.
There's still a lot of players on the board.
Yeah, well, they're waiting for Hayward and see what he's going to end up doing.
Yeah.
And, there's no telling. Hopefully, don't think Durant's going to pull anything out of the hat, but he hasn't signed yet either. So we'll see.
Talk about a report. If he, I'm leaving the Warriors.
Yeah. Hopefully, Melo goes somewhere. Hopefully, D Wade pays that money and goes somewhere. But
I'm gonna make a prediction. I can see them buying out his contract and Melo going to the Cavs.
that would be good because
They would have to unload quite a few players.
yeah, well, Melo has to go somewhere where there's help because he can't. It can't be like LeBron number 1, Melo number 2, which they still have Kyrie, obviously.
someone would have to shift.
Yeah, they would. Well, if JR goes,
Yeah, then
you could just take JR's spot, really.
yeah.
But he's not the defender JR is either, though. Even though JR is like
No.
crazy on fouling, he's still a good defender.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Still a lot of excitement to happen, hopefully. And like I said, that's about it. I think we covered, like I said, most of it. Plenty more to come.
Yep.
Didn't talk any really NFL or baseball or anything today. We
And NBA took up the whole
it did.
whole week. So
Tried to recap with the College World Series a little bit, but not a whole lot there than the fact that Florida won. So
yeah.
Yeah, guys, I think that's about it. It's just me and Brett here today. If you didn't hear the third person at all, that was my little bro Sean. He was not here today. Hopefully, we can get a third person on here with us next week to help debate a little more.
Yeah.
We'll spice it up a little bit, hopefully. And we'll be back in about a week with hopefully plenty more to talk about. So
Something other than NBA.
yeah, right. Go to our SoundCloud. Brett, what's the handle for that again?
It is Roundtable Sports Talk.
We got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Roundtable Sports Talk.
If you want to talk to me, at Austin Hersey. If you want to talk to Brett,
At AKA Brett D.
let us know what you think about the show. Give us plenty of feedback.
Message.
We need it. Yeah, DM us.
Slide in the DMs,
Yeah,
please.
We need topics. And,
Something other than NBA and football.
Yeah, because that's pretty much.
Give me some baseball.
Yeah, because NBA and NFL are our two topics, so it'd be cool to expand, talk about a little more. So yeah, that's about all I got for y'all.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be listening next week. Thank you.
See you next week.
Good evening.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment. Wait a minute! Oh, my.
That's this week's episode of Roundtable Sports Talk podcast with your hosts, Austin and Brett. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Roundtable Sports Talk. Thank you for listening.